Welcome back to another episode of the Breadwinner Energy Podcast. We are 1 week away from the Rebirth Live Masterclass. If you have not gotten your spot yet, click the link below and sign up. It is a 60-minute masterclass next Monday, July 28th at 12 p.m. CST. There will be a replay, but come live. Coming live is always better. I cannot tell you how many times I'm like, I'm going to sign up, I'll watch the replay, and I never do. I never watch it. I never actually sit down and watch it. It's very rare that I ever do. So get your spot, come live. This rebirth is going to change your entire life, your identity, your income, your business, the way that you operate yourself, your relationships. It will change everything for you. It will be, your mind will be blown. Let's just say that. Your mind will be completely blown. It's going to be so much different than what you think it's going to be. And the reason I know this is because I've been teaching a 30-day live rebirth challenge to my entire community and then coaching our academy students through it as well for the last 8 weeks. And it has been incredibly transformational for so many of them. Like my students who've been in my world for a long time, it's so cool to watch them go through this process. And the last time we were on a call, we're wrapping up the end of our 8 weeks together. I asked them to give a review of their own rebirth and how they're feeling and how it's been going for them. And I want to read you a couple things that were said because I really think it's interesting what people think this probably is, or that, oh, I've done so much mindset work, I don't need to do this, right? I've I've done the mindset. I know what my problems are, and they come through this and they're like, this was so different than what I've ever done before, right? This was life-changing, transformational, if you will. So I'm pulling up here what they said. I screenshotted all of them, and there's so many. I'm not going to read them all. One of our students said, I went through this knowing I was going to go through a rebirth, but I felt resistant to it, like nothing would change. But retrospectively, so much has. I'm listening in the quiet, following my intuition. Downloads are coming easier, and I'm sharing more of me. One of our other students said, this is the most me I've ever felt. This was not the inner work I was expecting. This rebirth has taken so many unexpected turns. I feel like you've been talking directly to me. My kids are actually cheering me on now, coaching up to me and looking up to me. Haven't been in here the full time, but I feel like things are coming up I have never previously worked through, and I've done a lot of inner work. So I just want to say that this will just be so different. I have spent what feels like my entire life not only rebirthing myself, but doing so much mindset, inner work. And then when I went through life coach school, how long has it been now? 4 years ago, that was like another layer of mindset work. But it wasn't until I went through this last rebirth last year of this deeper layered inner shadow work. Um, and like really sitting in this nothingness for so long, this 18-month rebirth that completely changed my life, my identity, the way that I operate. It took me from like seeing my own blocks, seeing like logically understanding my feelings, to really like going so much deeper that I even ever thought was possible. And I truly believe it was to be able to get to this point, to be able to teach this to other women, to be able to show other women, here is exactly what's holding you back in your life, in your business, in your relationships, and why you keep attracting these things into your life, why your reality keeps showing you the things you don't want, even though you like are doing the mindset work, you're in belief, you want these things, you want a big life, you want more money, you want to change lives, but your reality is actually not changing at all. And this is what will completely change not just your inner world, but finally change your outer world. And I think that's what so many people want is, I don't want to just feel different or know different. I want life to be different. And this is where we put all of those pieces together. So you don't just understand your feelings. You don't just know the mindset work. You don't just logically see it. You actually change it. You change your identity. You change your reality. So in this in this masterclass, this is what I'm teaching. This is like the process of this rebirth because I have rebirthed myself over and over and over again so many times, from being a single mom at 23 years old, being on WIC, having $100 to my name, divorced by 24, right? 2 marriages probably before my frontal lobe even developed, which is insane looking back. Like, what was wrong with me? Growing up in a trailer, being broke my entire life, being bullied, right? Having literally nothing but like what felt like just every odd against me, to building a global movement of breadwinner energy, creating a seven-figure brand without funding or loans, helping thousands of women change their lives no matter where they've come from. This is your turn. This is going to change your life, your identity, right? Because you cannot strategy and think your way and understand mindset work to the next level. It just unfortunately doesn't work that way. So if you know that you're meant for big shit in life, big impact, you're here to change lives, and you have big dreams on your heart, you want, right? You want a bigger life than what you've been given. Maybe you've been through abuse, grief, trauma, poverty, chronic illness, shame, grief, generational or ancestral trauma, and you've been in survival mode most of your life, right? But you also know you just have like this thing that you like cannot shake, that you're here to do something, then you need to join this free masterclass. Okay. In the free masterclass, I'm going to give you my 3-step method to your own very own rebirth. And then when you go through this rebirth, you're not going to just, again, feel different. You will literally be different. You will learn how to stop abandoning yourself. Stop self-abandoning so that other people like you, and start to respect yourself, honor yourself, and live in your own authenticity. You will see your story as exactly what qualifies you to change the world and lead a movement, not what disqualifies you. You'll finally start making better, faster decisions from power, from your intuition, from speaking your truth and not really caring if people don't like it. And this is where you will create space for more money, more momentum, more fun without more work. You will finally become a magnet for aligned opportunities and income and clients and all the things you want by going through this process. The link is below. Okay, let's get into today's episode. The invisible shit running your business that no strategy can fix. Even if you've done all the mindset work, your reality just simply is not changing. It's not changing. I cannot tell you how many times I was like doing affirmations, doing the journaling, doing the believing, and being like, and I'm even showing up and doing things, and it still does not feel like anything's happening, like nothing's changing. And my outer world, even if it was changing, it was changing so ever slightly that like it wasn't a big difference. And I was also still calling in these same patterns, like these same relationships, these same, like it just felt like my life was on this like hamster wheeled cycle of like the same things, like the same ups and downs, the same like patterns of just people and relationships and conversations that was like never ending. And I was like, this feels like a scary simulation that I can really, really see and not get out of. And this was when I was like, okay, this is just not working for me anymore. This mindset stuff, this like understanding, logically understanding, and my reality not changing, like I can't keep living like this. I'm miserable, I'm unhappy. And so this is when last year, when I burnt down my business and I went through this rebirth, I really started to dig into deeper layers of myself and why I'm calling this in and where it's coming from and what it's attached to. So started doing nervous system work, attachment pattern work, trying to really understand and unpack like where is this coming from? What is the actual root? Because I want my reality to change. Now, what I have done in the past and what I see lots of other people do is a rebrand in your business, a new niche, a new offer, new images, a new vibe, so to speak. And they think that that is going to be the thing that changes their business and changes their life. And it's also that work is fun, right? Rebranding is so fun. I love rebranding. I love fresh images. I love a new vibe. I love a new offer, even. But that, building that business from the same version of you that has the same patterns and habits and shadows and attachment styles, and none of that has changed, and then trying to build a business from that point, all you're going to do is have this fun, shiny burst of energy, and then it's going to all fizzle and fade because you're still the same person underneath running that business, right? So if you don't change you at the core, your business is not going to magically change because you have a new images or new niche or a new vibe or whatever that looks like in your quote unquote outer rebrand. The work has to be inner first. This is why inside Breadwinner Energy Academy, we start with the deepest layer of inner work, which is your shadow work. And from shadow work, really uncovering your patterns, the roots, the origin, and what this is actually costing you by not changing it, your attachment styles, your ancestral baggage that you're carrying, right? We really dig deep into the most deepest layered root of what is holding you back. Once we unpack this and uncover this and find out where it's from and where it's come from and how it's affecting you in your life and your relationships and your money and your business, then we move through those shadows. We work through those, right? We unpack them, we move through them, then we move into our next section, which is embodiment, embodying this new level of you. Once you've done all of the purging and you're getting rid of these old identities and these old thoughts and these old masks and the layers of you that you've built around you for survival mode, we've purged a lot of that out. We're building in this new layers of you, of your new identity. We move into embodiment, really embodying and being this next level version of you, because there's going to be this weird, shaky period where when you're becoming a new version of you, it feels weird. It doesn't feel quite right because you haven't created that as your safety, right? Your nervous system is still like, I don't know about this. So we go through embodiment. Once we've then gone through this embodiment period, then we move into becoming a CEO, a sovereign CEO. We start to talk about business decisions from this new lens of your new version of you. But we're not going to start talking about business decisions until you've actually unpacked. And the reason being is because there's always going to be a root that is running your business. Your subconscious is going to be running your business and you don't even know it. But you keep attracting the same things, the same types of clients, the same problems, the same money issues, the same level of my reality is just not changing. And I'm showing up, I'm doing the work, I'm hiring the coach, I'm working on my mindset, I'm in belief, my reality still isn't changing. This is literally exactly why. This is why, right? So one of these could be you're scared to be seen. And sometimes this is so subconscious that you don't even know you're scared to be seen because you're like, no, I am showing up. I'm in Facebook groups. I'm posting every day. And you think you're quote unquote showing up, but your level of showing up is still surface level. It is not an unlocked, authentic version of you. Maybe you're still even overthinking every single post. You're hiding behind the real raw like authentic you. You're hiding behind the real shit, right? That you think, well, if I say that, that's going to be too much. If I say that, that's going to get me canceled. So what do? You take your ideas, you run to ChatGPT, you plug them in, and you're like, how do I say this? So then you post that. It doesn't sound like this raw, authentic version of you. No one actually gives a shit because they can tell from this energy that it's not the most authentic version of you. And then nothing really happens. You're just in this weird, stagnant, no, people are kind of seeing you, but not really. And you're not saying enough for them to not like you, but you're also not saying enough for them to like you and buy from you. And you're just in this like in between where you're easily overlooked, right? So you're really afraid of being too much, too loud, not enough. You're tweaking your voice, tweaking your messaging. And this is where this outer layer of like just changing and fixing niche and messaging comes in because you're like, well, that's not working, that's not working, that's not working. When in reality, you have a fear of being seen. And another one is like you're stopping and starting a lot. You're like going out, doing the thing, being seen, being seen, being seen. You're not getting this validation back, so you pull back, right? You're not getting approval, the stamp of approval. So you're pulling back, or your nervous system is like, oh my God, that was scary. Don't do that. And then you pull back from that space too. This often happens in childhood because your childhood, you learned that being loud or overly emotional or different or fully expressed maybe led to punishment, silence, silent treatment, rejection. You were told don't do that, right? And so if you've learned that, you've been conditioned to blend in, to not be too much, to not be over the top, and just enough to like get by. In this industry, you can't just be enough to get by, right? So if your content and your brand and your messaging and the words coming out of your mouth and your authenticity isn't showing up bold and you're not magnetizing people to you, you're in the nothingness. Nothing happens. The root of that, though, is your fear of being seen, being loud, too different, too emotional, too self-expressed. If you don't fix that root, your nervous system still perceives that to be danger. You're not going to embody that version of you. No matter what you do in business, that's not going to change. Okay. The second one we see, I see so much, and this was such a version of me in the past, is people pleasing, good girl energy, keeping the peace, and not really standing up for yourself. What this looks like, over giving, over freaking giving, hand holding, like you literally cannot grow your business at all because you are tied to every client, every lead, everyone in your community. You're so tied to them. You spend all of your time with them, all of your time like holding hands. You're undercharging, right? So not only are you over giving, hand holding, spending so much of your time with every individual, but you're also undercharging. You're also afraid to say no. So now you're stuck in this loop of you are gaining little to no traction with little to no money, and it will cause burnout, right? And so you're just hoping that, like, if you're kind enough, if you're nice enough, if you're a good girl enough, people will be like, wow, she's such a good girl. Let me buy from her. And it also doesn't work that way, right? And this also is in a space of where you're not like holding good boundaries with yourself, with what you say yes and no to for collaborations, what you say yes and no to for opportunities, what you say yes and no to clients, right? This is usually tied to like anxious attachment, and your worth being tied to service. So you probably learned that love had to be earned, attention had to be earned, being helpful allowed you to be seen and safe, and that having no or having boundaries meant you were selfish, meant you were self-centered, right? You're a brat, you're rude, whatever, where love was conditional. And so if you got the good grades and you did good at school and you were quiet and you never rocked the boat and you never stood up for yourself, yay, you get a pat on the back, you get a hug, you get a good job from home. But if you weren't that and you rocked the boat in any way, stood up for yourself, right? It was you were defiant, you were bad. So this will mean you'll be exhausted, you'll be burnt out, your leadership will be so watered down, it won't be leadership at all. You won't be building authority. You will be in the friend zone, 1000% in the friend zone. People will see you as maybe motivational and inspirational, but they will never buy from you because they don't see you as a leader. Okay. The third one is your messaging is unclear and not potent, and you over explain every single thing that you do. It maybe lacks soul or story or bold, raw punchiness, right? You're still using like buzzwords and safe words. You're afraid to offend people. You're afraid to be polarizing, and you think, well, that could be mean. That could hurt people's feelings. People won't like it. People won't follow me. So you do a lot of performing. This probably means that you grew up in environments where you had to perform, and performing and perfectionism and being masked as like always put together and always doing the right thing and knowing what to say and being super smart allowed you to like maybe fit in, but it also allowed you to be safe, right? Your nervous system deemed this as safe, where your most authentic self wasn't actually safe, right? So you've learned to shapeshift, to avoid criticism, to avoid right? Lashback. So what I see a lot of is this like maybe you were bullied in school and you never want other people to feel that. So then in your content and messaging, you don't want to be polarizing because you think that would offend people or you think that would be like a form of bullying people. So everything you do, again, kind of rides this middle ground of nothingness. So your business is like crickets, right? Or you just get like clients that are not aligned at all, at all, at all. And they only see this like perfect put together version of you. And anytime you fall outside of that box, they're probably going to criticize you. So your messaging has no like feelings to it. It has no depth to it. It has no like this pull where people can like feel it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like this is so good. This is like the punch in the mouth that I freaking needed." That's not happening. Number four, you avoid sales. You avoid selling, you delay pitching, you downplay pitching, you downplay selling, you downplay your prices, you give too much for free. You wait for the most perfect time to sell as if that exists. And you probably have a fear of rejection. You probably have the freeze fawn response. So sales are just not happening because maybe in past relationships, right? Maybe there was abandonment. Maybe every time you ask for like your needs to be met, abandonment. Maybe you've learned that talking about money or asking for money is shameful or taboo, or you should not do that. Maybe you've even learned that like sales are bad, sales are the devil, sales are icky, whatever other people have pushed onto you from this industry. And you have this weird eerie, disgusting feeling about selling, about money. So you don't earn money, you don't scale, and you repel empowered buyers who actually want you to take the lead. And let me say this, when you work on this wound around money and sales, you will lead from such a different place that you're not selling in a slimy way, but you're so empowered and embodied in what you do. People want to be around it, but you also aren't afraid to sell. You're not afraid to direct sell. You're not afraid to tell people this will change your life. It is absolutely worth it. You should absolutely buy it. And that level of conviction and confidence em- attracts empowered buyers, attracts people who are self-led to want to change their life instead of people who are like, I don't know, and think the same thing as you. If you have icky feelings about making money, not making money, because most of you want to make money, about selling and pitching to people, you're going to just attract more people into your world, into your creator field that have those exact same feelings as you. So you want more empowered buyers and people who don't have that weird energy around money and sales. You have to stop having weird energy around money and sales. You have to be an empowered buyer. You have to be an empowered seller. And once you fix that wound, that's going to help you attract more people into your world that don't have weird energy around money and buying. Ever since I changed that energy within myself and I wasn't chasing to get people to buy from me, and I was like holding my own ground of like, this is 100% worth it, people will buy it. I not only signed more clients quicker than ever, I signed clients I never even spoke to, like never DM'd me, never spoke to me, never had conversations with me, just bought my container. Some of them even paying completely in full. And so that is the difference in what you will attract into your world when you change your thoughts and energy around money and sales and selling. Our last one is your decisions are emotional led, avoidant led, or inconsistent. So this probably means you have disorganized attachment, which means that you're anxious and avoidant, and you jump from one thing to the next. You second guess yourself, you over research, you wait for the right vibe or the right feeling, you maybe lack clarity. This was a younger version of me did this a lot because of my own disorganized attachment style, which means you probably grew up in unpredictable environments that were highly emotional or chaotic. And so your nervous system deems that chaos to feel normal or quote unquote safe. So you're constantly chasing chaos, right? So that means you're going to build a business and lead a business in chaos. And if it's not chaos, you're going to burn it to make sure that it's chaos because that's all your nervous system knows. This is where you maybe you're hyper vigilant. You've been hyper vigilant your whole life, and you're not grounded and rooted in safety and strategy and allowing your business to be stable because that doesn't feel right to your nervous system. So this is a lot of nervous system integration and rewiring your brain for chaos is actually not safe. Rewiring your body to believe this isn't safe, right? So you can't build a legacy on top of a dysregulated nervous system. These are just a couple examples of like what I see with my clients and myself, saw with myself. And this is going to hold you back from lots of money, big impact, leading a movement, and building a legacy in your business because these are the root problems, pieces that are holding you back in each area of business. You cannot strategize your way out of those things, unfortunately. Your body doesn't care, your nervous system doesn't care. Your brain will not rewire itself just because you change your brand or your niche or your colors. Unfortunately, I wish it was that easy, but it is not. So, if you're like, this is me, there's so many pieces of this that is running my show that is not allowing me to build the life I want, no matter how much mindset work I do, my reality is simply just not changing. And I want to fully change inside and out. You not only need to sign up for the live masterclass next Monday and come to that, but also join the Breadwinner Energy Academy. That is my 12-month container where I walk you through a full rebirth. You not only have access to community 24/7, self-paced courses on demand the second you join, 2 monthly calls with me for live Q&A, and then also every month live guest experts. You also have a link to be an affiliate where you get your own link. That's completely free and you can tell other people about your rebirth process and make money while you go through the rebirth if they sign up and join. The Breadwinner Energy Academy is where we rebirth you. All of the pieces we talked about today, we completely rebirth you into this new version of yourself. You know you're meant for big shit, but your past identity is holding you back. Your childhood wounds, your shadows are holding you back, and this is where we completely change it inside the academy. This is where you will stop being stuck in self-aware survival mode. Where you're like so wildly self-aware, but you're still stuck, right? Reality is not changing. This is where you will finally outgrow your old life and create a new one. Become a brand new version of you. Be embodied in your most authentic self and be able to move into your sovereign CEO self and rebuild your business from this place. It is only 222 a month to join. Enrollment is open, and we're even running a special right now that you can join. You can even upgrade. So we have the Breadwinner Energy Academy, and then we have the upgrade to the expansion room. The expansion room is where you quantum leap your business and you become a thought leader and you scale your business from your new identity. It includes academy. So if you're like, I've done so much mindset work, while I still need to do some of that, I also am really, really ready to scale my business. Then you can jump into the expansion room because you get two programs essentially for the price of one. That program is only 555 a month for 12 months or 5555 a year, and that price is going to double at the end of August. So right now you can join for only 5555 for the entire year to quantum leap your business, become a thought leader, scale your business. Price will double to 10K. So if you join either program, expansion room or academy, this is what you're going to get, okay? By August 7th. Expansion room is 50% off. You also get three new mini courses that I just dropped. So the second you join, you get the 30-day rebirth challenge, which is 16 modules long. You get sales capacity, and then you get Savage AF mini course. You also get a one-on-one rebirth audit by me that I will completely map out for you of what you can specifically follow to change your entire life in 30 days. And you can follow through this rebirth and then or through this program while you're in it. And this is like your own specific guide to follow. It will be specific to you, to your blocks, completely from me, one to one when you join. Okay. Enrollment is open. If you have any questions, come over to Instagram at it's Tay Daniels _LLC. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in.